Bonjour, mon ami. Je m'appelle Sleepy Celestial. Let's get right into this. So the Olympics, like I said, has been a whirl of whirlwind when it comes to emotions. The two athletes that you're looking at here are such great athletes of their own rights. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is arguably the most decorative Olympic athlete of all time. On top of that, you have Marie-Josée Tallou Smith, which is also the Ivory Coast queen of sprinting. Heading to the Olympics this year, especially for Paris, has not been an easy one for the athletes. I'm not sure if it's due to high competition from the Tokyo Games all the way up to now, which was a non-stop competition year. I think somewhat the athletes are somewhat fatigued in some way. Heading to the semis, even the finals, Tallou and Shelly-Ann had the fastest heats, openers, and assuming we thought everything was perfectly fine. But when we started seeing, like, sadly, Tallou did not even make it when it comes to the, she got to the final. She was clutching to aim gold, and I believe she was gonna get silver or even bronze. With the times that she was running, I think she would have been able to pull away from Julian Alford and the rest of the other field. But I definitely would have saw Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and Sha'Carri Richardson dug it out. But that's not what the scenario that happened. We end up having two of the great athletes were out. One due to injury and made it to the final, and then the second one, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she got basically removed due to the fact she didn't make it on time and hamstring injury from what I heard. But there was other things that was happening in the background that affects the athlete also. So there's so much that we could say that has happened. The only one that was left was Tia Clayton, which is the youngin of the three trio that was sent to the Paris Games. So I'm basically explaining the lineup of what has happened at this Olympics and how can Jamaica recover from this. You know, coming into the semis, we saw Shelly-Ann, Julian Alford, and Sha'Carri Richardson as part of the semi of death, where semi of death means that all of these athletes are competing to get into either the top two to make it to the rounds, but that's not really what happened. And what ended up happening was that Shelly-Ann was got out, Sha'Carri couldn't train on the practice track, and there was a lot of discriminatory thing that has happened. I think that plays a part into Shelly-Ann and the other athlete pulling out. Without further crazy ado, we end up seeing a new Olympic champion that has happened since Jamaica dominated since '08. Julian Alford became the new face of the Olympic gold medal, as well as Sha'Carri Richardson clutched a silver, and Melissa Jefferson managed to get bronze. What's sad about this is that I think Sha'Carri was so focused on trying to not only beat Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, but due to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's presence was not here, I think that was felt throughout the entire meet. And everybody felt very nervous about this. You know, even heading to the Paris Games, we would have thought the big three trio was going to be healthy to versus Sha'Carri. But that ended up not being the case. That kind of discouraged some of the Jamaican fan base to not see that. And then we started hearing that Shericka Jackson was pulling out of the 100. The next thing you know, due to Elaine Thompson's injury from the Nike Prix, she was pulled out. The only person that was left was Shelly-Ann, and then hamstring, because Shelly-Ann is the older one out of the trio. She lastly the one that pulled out. So with Tia Clayton the only one trying to defend for Jamaica, it was not happening. the reality of having a perfect race, of heading to Paris Games was anticipated. We would have seen Julian Alfred battled it out with Shelly-Ann and Sha'Carri, but that's not what ended up happening. You know, it's very sad to see a 5-time Olympian leave the way she did, and I think it's unfair. And whoever that is responsible for not only, you know, hammering the problematic of the hamstring is due to that Shelly-Ann could not get to the warming track on time, and they were giving her a hard time of that. I think athletes should have a fair chance to defend themselves. And even now, for updates, we even heard that Shericka Jackson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will not be participating in the 4x1, which now leave it to Jamaicans' other athletes, or is going to be up to well, America is going to be the one that's going to be getting that medal, basically. And with a new force of Julian Alfred, I think Jamaica, they're going to be more eager to come back next year, World Championships. But also Sha'Carri Richardson, Melissa Jefferson has a job now. They got to get the 4x1 gold to secure for America. It's so much that's going on the line right now. So I'll give you guys more updates on that. So I just wanted to explain what I thought about what happened, and see